Hey, how about we do a little transition to the Super League? Again, shameless plug. If you didn't see it, Amanda Vandervoort, we talked to her earlier. But one thing we talked about is the playoff race. And I'm sorry, Lexington and DC Power, you guys have been eliminated. So we're not really going to talk about y'all's match because the interesting bit is Dallas Trinity at home versus Carolina Saints. Carolina Saints are already your Player Shield winners. They are going to be home field advantage all the way out. Dallas Trinity, they have to win to get in. Fort Lauderdale versus Spokane, if you win, you are in. It is an insane just kind of head to head. And someone might correct me if I'm wrong on that. Maybe it's not a win in your id for one of them. I think it's Dallas who's sitting on the outside and are relying on other people. But it is an insane kind of lineup that we have going on here where we're kind of asking the question, is Carolina going to sit their starters, maybe call up some of the Trailblazers, which is the players for their 2 team, which awesome name for your 2 team, by the way. But they might call some Trailblazers, give them some of their first minutes as a professional, maybe under the academy name though. Or are they going to try to stay hot, try to stay clicking, and take on a Dallas team who is fighting for the playoffs, maybe try to play a spoiler? I mean, what do y'all think about that one?
It would certainly work well for Dallas if they rested a lot of people. Not so much well for Spokane and Fort Lauderdale. Because I think Dallas, if they win and Spokane and Fort Lauderdale draw, Dallas is in.
Yep. Yes. That would, if I'm looking at that right, yes, that is correct. Ryan, what about you? Like, this is kind of going into predictions. Like, we are already kind of talking about what it's going to be. Like, do you think that Carolina should rest their players to make sure that nobody of importance gets injured for no good reason?
I could certainly see it. They've already wrapped up the regular season title. Your focus is on the playoffs. That's what is technically winning the league trophy, despite us saying that the league title has been won already by Carolina. But the interesting dilemma that I think I see with this is you could almost like, if you're the Ascent, you could almost like pick your first round opponent based off of how you want to approach this game. If you want that to be Dallas, perchance, yeah, you could play a more inexperienced lineup. You can rotate the players and do everything you can to help Dallas get into the playoffs and have them potentially be that 4 seed that you would match up against. Or you could say, we're going to go out there and play with the full momentum, and whatever happens just happens, and just know that it's still kind of out of Dallas's own hands, that they could win and still end up as the 3 seed. And you probably don't want to be drawing either Spokane or Fort Lauderdale as the 4 seed, especially if that's Spokane in that instance. So I think it's really interesting that once you start getting into kind of the game theory of it all, that it almost becomes Carolina should just go out and just play their own game, and just however the chips fall on the final day is just how it ends up.
Yeah, they have an even split with Dallas this season, 1-1-1.
Alex, let me ask you, because Ryan did give us a theory, a game theory. And so we have, what would you do? Because like you saw Union Omaha 2 years ago go off, what was it, 18 unbeaten, like just would never lose again. They get a bye week and they lose immediately. Like they did it last year too, where granted they had a lot of off the field stuff going on. They get a bye week. Richmond almost sneak up on them. And this is not to be putting down on Union Omaha, but we're talking about really good teams, easily the best teams in the league, getting a pseudo bye week or a real bye week. And they come out slow and rusty. Would you rest your players on the chance of them coming back just not in match form?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm looking at the head-to-head opponent for the other as well, and looks like, yeah, I don't know. That's why I don't. That's why I do podcasting for free, and I don't get paid to coach. But yeah, I think I would. I think I would rest a few players. in this scenario, and then go all in for the playoffs. It was a little risky for Omaha last year, but they got it done. They are the better team. I think Carolina Ascent has proven to be the better the better team in the league here, especially as the season draws to a close. So yeah, I think I would rest a few players.
If you're looking at Fort Lauderdale and Spokane, the worst case scenario for those two teams is a draw. I mean, one of them losing is the worst case, but a draw is the worst case because if Dallas somehow manages to win
or draw, I think if Dallas draws and they draw based on the tiebreaker, I believe Dallas would be in. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah. Yes. So if one team loses and Dallas draws, Dallas is in. So a draw and Dallas wins, somebody's out. When we're looking at this Fort Lauderdale Spokane match, how would you manage this? You obviously have to go for it because if you lose, there is a solid chance that you're missing the playoffs. Like if you lose, there is what we always say probably 50, 60, possibly even 70% chance you're not in, depending on what Carolina does. You're having to go for everything. This is your season. Forget about the playoffs. Are we about to see two of the most attacking teams go at each other and really go for it? Or are we going to see kind of what we see whenever we see 1 versus 2 in a lot of leagues where both teams hunker down and try not to concede because no one wants to win. They just try not to lose.
It's a must win, I think. I think they should treat it like a playoff must win. Yeah. Go all in.
I think what's going to be, excuse me, I think what's going to be very interesting is the fact that this Dallas match kicks off 1 hour prior to the Spokane Fort Lauderdale. So they may know about 2 hours ahead of time if Carolina is going to be playing a top lineup or not. And by the time their match kicks off, they may already know if Dallas has a chance to get in because that game will be coming out of the first half, will be going into the second half. And yes, Spokane Fort Lauderdale may already kind of know the status of their game as they kind of move into their first half of play. Although I will say, I hope in future seasons we actually do get like a proper decision day, quote unquote, and have all the games just start at the same time. Even if it stretches the time zones, just find a way to make it work out roughly.
Are we going to get a Berhalter 1-1 moment? Like... That would be insane. I mean, look, we're going to see. I've talked about Ekich so much. I think she is the best player in the league. But then you also see Addie McCain and Jasmine Hamid. You see extremely talented players on both sides of this matchup. There are incredible players on both sides. And no matter what, Dallas, Spokane, or Fort Lauderdale, there is going to be a really good team that has a chance to win the playoff title that's going to be left out. And it's the beauty of having the playoffs as it is, because the playoffs start today or whenever the match is, Saturday. But that's when the playoffs start. It does not matter. Whoever's in, like whoever wins, you're in. The playoffs have already started. You got your playing game. I mean, what are we thinking for this? I mean, if you're looking pure firepower, you kind of have to say Fort Lauderdale may have it. But when we're talking about possibly the best player in the league, that's Spokane and an incredible system to go with it. What are we thinking?
If we're diving into predictions, I think I'm going to back Spokane to get a win, but Dallas and Carolina to end in a draw.
Ooh, okay. So if Dallas draws and who wins?
Spokane.
Spokane's in.
Spokane will be in. Where would that put Fort Lauderdale?
I think out.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with Ryan here. I'm gonna go with the draw in the Dallas, and Carolina game with a Spokane win over Fort Lauderdale.
So you both have Fort Lauderdale out. The Golden Boot leader, I do believe, still in McCain out. Locklear out. Like, you guys are saying that. Oh man. There's a part of me that thinks that the Ascent are going to win, and all this is rendered like a moot point. But I'm really hoping Dallas gets a result and we see absolute carnage in this upcoming match. I think that Dallas is going to win, and it's not going to matter. And I also think that Spokane's going to win. But I am actively rooting for Dallas to get some kind of result, and we just have absolute cinema in Fort Lauderdale. Or Spokane. Where is it? Oh, Spokane. Sorry. That's what I'm rooting for.
We got to go back on the tiebreakers too. If this is if Brian and I scenario is in, because head to head regular season, if it comes down to either Dallas or Fort Lauderdale, they're 1-1-1. So it would go down to goal differential, which Dallas is in.
I love this league.
What a wild season.
Welcome to the first one. I don't know how they're going to be able to beat this, but this is awesome.
Good job, script writers.
We can get down to playoff spots being determined by a lottery conducted by the league. Or the coin toss like they got in Friday Night Lights.
Oh, man. Could you imagine somebody or it wouldn't have been because we only had the 2 red cards. So somebody got a dumb yellow card for time wasting, and that's the reason that they got left out of the playoffs. They're time wasting to keep a draw, and that's the reason they're out.
Something to consider in the back of your mind when you're wasting time.
Oh, man. I do hate it for DC Power and Lexington. DC Power has vastly improved since the spring split. They've gotten a lot better. Lexington, I feel like after this year, they had a lot of chaos going on off the field. Just like coaching changes, and some of the best players just always seem to be on international break. I feel like they'll be doing okay next year. And then you're looking at a Brooklyn team who they already finished their season. But sorry to DC and Lexington about not talking about y'all too much. Really hate it for you. But, man, this playoff scenario, we just had to break it down. It's just so good. So good.